sponsored by Cake Wallet, the easiest open source wallet to store Bitcoin, Monero, and Litecoin securely on mobile and desktop devices. When buying, selling, and exchanging crypto or trading for gift cards, Cake Wallet ensures privacy and security, giving you the keys to your coins. Hello, everybody, and good afternoon. I'm your host, Randi Hipper, here today with a very special guest as we dive into the markets. Guys, Bitcoin is about to test the 200-day SMA. We're currently at $108,000. And if you guys are ready to hear from our guest, then don't hesitate to smash the like, subscribe, share this out with friends so more people know what's going on here. We have a goal of at least 100 likes and 150 live viewers. We're going to get after it with TA icon, Jayson Casper. Welcome to the show. How are you doing today? Welcome.
I am doing fantastic, Randy. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. And I'm glad to hear I'm a TA expert.
You are. You're an icon, Jayson. You're the Casper crew. And you've been at it for a really long time. If you guys don't know, Jayson and I have been friends for years at this point. He was on the show, I don't even know how long ago, but it's been way too long. So now he's back. And we're going to dive into Jayson's backstory a little bit. And then, of course, we're going to get into the charts. Okay, nerds in the chat, we're going to get into that. But first, we need to know about Jayson. Jayson, how old are you at this point? And what were you like in your 20s?
Oh, man. How old am I at this point? I'm 35, so I'm officially old.
No way. No way.
Yeah, way. I'm old. I've got 3 kids. I'm that old white dad now. It's crazy. I never thought I'd get here. But
Wow. So what age did you have kids?
I think my daughter was born when I was 27 or 28.
I
So
feel like that's pretty good. Honestly, for nowadays, I feel like people actually like to have kids past 30 now.
yeah, I think that's kind of weird. I mean, like I got married when I was 23,
Oh,
and
wow.
so we had some time. Like we had some time to chill. Like we lived it up, you know. I'm about if you're looking to get married, anyone out there and you're young, I recommend you just take some time, just you and your spouse, and live it up and get to know each other. Because trust me, having kids is wonderful, but it changes stuff. So take some
Absolutely, it
time to
does.
enjoy.
So
Yeah.
getting married at 23, I mean, like that is really young. Did you meet where is it like immediate with your wife? Like when did y'all meet?
Oh man. So we met, I guess, in 2012. Um, we met through a church,
Oh, wow.
and we were just, we weren't really interested in each other at all. We were like doing a Bible study together. We were leading a Bible study together at the church. And long story short, we ended up always, it was just always us. We would make these trips to New York City every Friday to go to like the young people's night at Times Square Church. And we would invite the whole Bible study, and just it was just us for like a few weeks in a row. So we're like riding the train into the city and the subway and all this. And then we started to be friends. And then I think someone asked her out, and she's like, I think I should probably talk to Jayson about that first. And then that's when we realized, you know what? Maybe we're a little bit more than friends. And that's how that kind of started.
Oh, wow. That is such tea. I actually really love that. I love hearing about love. Love is like amazing. And so meeting someone at church, honestly, is probably the most wholesome way to meet somebody. And I think just being connected on that level, because if you're gonna like be with someone and you don't align on things like faith, I feel like long term, it's just not going to work for either person.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. There has to be something that transcends yourself that keeps the relationship together because, you know, there's always going to be ups and downs in any relationship. And, if you have something that transcends your own selfish desires, like, we're following the Lord, we're following God's plan. We believe that we have an eternal purpose in our marriage and raising our kids, then, that's the bedrock of everything.
Absolutely, especially because I feel like as a man, you kind of have to lead like your relationship with your wife, but also like your family in a lot of different ways. And, teaching them how to survive, how to like be in the world. And then, of course, like spiritually, like that's a major part. And I feel like if I had more of that in my childhood, I think I probably would have been a little bit better of a shaped, like a little better shaped as a person. And so I think it's definitely something like foundationally is great for your kids. And, getting into things like finance, I feel like a lot of people try to complicate it when it comes to faith. And maybe you could drop like some knowledge on this because people always say like the love of money, even the Bible says it, the love of money is the root of all evil. And we're working in finance, right? Finance-ish. So how do you justify that kind of phrase to what you're doing right now, which is like your whole career is TA and analyzing things in finance?
Yeah, I mean, it says that the love of money is the root of all evil. So it doesn't say money is the root of all evil.
Yes.
And I think that's important. And secondly, I believe God wants his people to be to prosper, um, to be successful.
Yes.
And maybe that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be financially rich, but I definitely think it means you're not going to be in poverty. I mean, I can't say that across the board because God calls everybody to different life situations for sure. But I think if you're going to be pursuing, let's just say, business or making money, you have to do it with the mindset coming from a faith perspective of I'm being a steward of the things that God has given me. And so how am I going to use the resources he's given me to further God's kingdom and God's purposes, you know? If you're in it for selfish reasons and you're in it to make yourself rich and enjoy like life, I think that's where money becomes the root of all evil. But if you're doing it understanding like it's God who's given me the power to gain wealth, which is also it says in scripture, then first of all, you're accountable to a higher power. And second of all, you're going to be using that wealth to help other people and spread the word of God, in my opinion, which is very important, which our society needs now more than ever, in my
Oh,
opinion.
absolutely. And I think people just are really ignorant of the fact of like, because people my age are like, we're manifesting, we are, touching all these rocks and they're going to protect us. Like that's not what it is. And like I'm not like hating on anyone, but like we know where like the true source is. And so I feel like
Right.
all these things are quite literally distractions and false idols that people are going to right now, when really like all we got to do is step outside. And that's why like I really loved moving out of New York City, because it was just so toxic and there's no nature there, there's no grass to touch that isn't rat infested. And I came down to Florida and now I'm seeing like dolphins all the time and water, and it's so beautiful. And so you are also someone that really embraces nature. And as a child, did you embrace nature as much as you do now?
No, not at all. Like I never really thought about it. Um, Actually, it wasn't until I really started walking with the Lord that I had the desire to live like off the land. Um, because you had asked me earlier what it was I liked in my 20s, and I was a musician, so I was in a band. I was a guitar player, and what's up, buddy? Yeah, yeah, close the door, bear. Sorry. Yeah, I was just like I was like a pothead stoner kind of guy, just like super unhealthy. Didn't really think about anything deep, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, getting like obviously into the word, I think it changes you for sure. And, being able to really lock into like the creation and get a piece of land, I think is very important, because I think obviously holding Bitcoin is great. It is digital property. But I think actually
Yeah.
owning a property and owning land is quite important. Like, at what point did you get to where you're like, okay, maybe I need to go touch some like literal grass and get some land for me and my potential family?
Hmm. It's really weird. I can't really put my finger on it. It was like a natural, it was just like a natural thing, like that me and my wife naturally kind of grew into that desire together, I guess, because we were not setting out to do that at all, like when we first met each other. I think a lot of it has to stems from our desire to get out of the system, like, traditional finance and fiat currency is like stealing our wealth, right? It's stealing our
Absolutely.
purchasing power. And so how can we uh get out of the system as much as possible, right? How can we stop being reliant on external systems for our own survival? Like if you live in the city, specifically in New York City, let's say, there's what, 6 million people on an island, and the only way out is through a bridge and a tunnel. And if the food supply runs out there, everyone's going to starve. There's no
Oh
way
yeah.
millions of people are going to get out of there, you know. And so it's like even in the suburbs, what's there like a 3-day food supply in the grocery store at any given time?
That's
So the
horrifying.
supply chain shuts down. Yeah, it's like, what are you going to do? Like, so for me, that was like, well, why don't we move in the direction of producing more of our own food and more of our own uh, actual tangible assets? Like, when you think about it logically, the only reason people go to college to get a job at the end of the day is so they can have shelter and food. Really. I mean, that's everyone's working for
To
those two
survive.
things right at the base level, right?
Yes.
So why don't you just bypass that whole college and job part and just have a piece of land where you can build a shelter and grow your own food, you know?
I mean, how do you even get started? Like, okay, so we're decided we all want to get a plot of land. We
That's
found a
nice.
spot that we really enjoy. What did you look for in your plot of land that you said, okay, this is sustainable to start building on? And of course, you have like a whole chicken coop and all that. So, like, what was the progression for you? I'm actually like so interested.
Well, we knew we wanted at least 5 acres, because we wanted to have room for like animals to eat grass and stuff.
That's crazy.
Um, and then we had a lot of things we wanted. We wanted to be where you could not see anybody around you, like, um, and we wanted to have a lot of area that was like already field. So we were looking for things that were zoned agriculturally so that we wouldn't run into any kind of like stupid township law that says you can't like build a chicken coop or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
And
almost
then
like
really,
a what do they call it? Like an HOA?
it's not quite like an HOA, but if your land is zoned, let's say like residentially instead of agriculturally, sometimes they won't let you own goats. I mean, people still do, but I just don't want to. I want to be as under the radar as possible, you know?
Absolutely, yeah. So go
Yeah.
ahead. So you go ahead and you're like, okay, this is a plot of land, and you saw that you could like grow stuff on it, that you were able to get animals.
Yeah.
And so like how long did it take you to go
And a
get the chicken
well, it's
coop?
important.
Oh, well, so you got your own
Yeah, it's
water.
important. Yeah, yeah, that's
Wait, no
important.
way. How does that work? Please explain that to me. I'm too
Yeah, so if
city.
you dig a hole deep enough anywhere, you'll find water.
So you just like got a construction company to come and just like dig until they found water?
They just drill until they find water. Yeah. Well, there
Drill
was
baby
already a well
drill.
on our, so yeah, yeah, there's already a well here. And it had a really fast recovery rate and it has a really high standing water level. So we actually have an old school hand pump, like from the 1800s, that pumps the water. And you only have to go down like 60 feet or so to actually get that water.
No way. So, okay, you got your well. How do you get the water to your shower?
Yeah, so we have an electric pump as well, but
Sorry,
we
I
still
sound
have the old school
ridiculous.
kind. No, no. Well, a lot of people that like live off grid because technically we're off the grid because we're solar powered and we've got the well, so we're not on the electric grid and we're not on the water grid. Obviously, we're on the internet grid.
Are you using Starlink?
Nah, nah, we're using like
Fiber?
yeah, some whatever that is around here. The mountain internet sucks actually. I should
Wait,
use Starlink.
you're in a whole freaking mountain?
Yeah, we're on like the top of a mountain. It's beautiful.
Wait, what is it like to be in a mountain? Is it cold?
Just
Are you
beautiful.
cold?
It's extremely cold in the winter, but in the summer it's pretty hot. I mean, it's like similar to like New York City area, like North
Wow.
Jersey area, like
Oh, okay. So that makes sense why you were going to Times Square because I was like, were
yeah,
you like a full-on city kid at some point or you were just like more in
yeah,
Jersey?
yeah. I was in like North Jersey, like I've lived like just outside Newark, and I've lived just outside New Brunswick. So
Wow, that is wild. New Brunswick is wow. Okay, shout out to Traders Reality. He just dropped a beautiful super chat for us. I appreciate it.
shout out to
Um,
Tino.
yeah, thank you so much, Tino. Tino, you're on the show next. Follow me on X so I could DM you after this. No, that is absolutely amazing. And then did you get the chicken coop and all that like before your kids?
Uh, no, yeah, we got chickens after our daughter was born. So COVID really pushed us to get the homestead rolling as fast as possible because you know, when everything starts to shut down, you're like, well, this is why we wanted to do this in the first place. So let's hurry up and do it. So
Makes
yeah, our
sense.
daughter was born in just the end of 2018. So when she was 1, that's when we got our chicken coop going. Um, we'd only been on the property um, a few months before she was born. So, we had a new baby and a new house and all this kind of stuff. So, but we got right into it. And really, here's the thing. If someone wants to start doing this, my advice is just do it. Like, just do it. Don't overthink it. Like, just make a garden. Just get a little rototiller, till up a little plot, and plant some seeds. I mean, God did make it so if you plant a seed, the plant grows. Like, I know that's mind blowing to people, but I've grown food in the most disgusting soil conditions, like especially potatoes. Like, you can grow
Oh, those
potatoes
are
in.
gross. Yeah.
You hate potatoes?
No, I love potatoes, but like you kind of
Oh,
got to get them deep in there, right? Like you really got to like bury the
yeah.
root. Yeah.
Well, no, that's the thing. You don't really like. I've planted potatoes in rocky, hard, disgusting dirt, and I didn't think they were going to grow. But my wife encouraged me, just give it a shot, see what happens. We had an amazing potato harvest that year. So just do
Wow.
stuff, you know?
Because
It's really not that difficult. You could build on it every year. Like, that's the thing. Every year you build on last year, and then it gets better and better.
man, because that is true though, because if you continuously keep using the land, like it ends up producing better fruit every year. Is that
Yeah,
true?
and stuff will grow by itself. Yeah, if you're enriching the soil. I mean, having chickens is one of the best things you can have because they are constantly pooping and like making compost and stuff, and then you take their old poop and stuff, you put it in the garden. Sounds gross, but
No, like that's the reality because even like they would slip it in TV shows as a kid, like iCarly and all that. Like they were just like growing things with compost and all that. Like they throw it in there, but then like have your kids grow up in that environment that you have out for them, like nature and all that. How do you think that that's a better way to raise your kids than the way you grew up? Because I feel like in the city, I got a lot of street smarts, but like I'm
mm.
also mad stressed all the time because I was always on the lookout versus like if you grow up in nature, there's no one around you, then you almost don't get that like sense of danger every 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's all perspective, right? It's funny because I was in New York City like a few weeks ago to visit some friends, and I took my kids, and it's like they are like totally like aloof, right? Um, I think overall, like when it comes to health and well-being, I do believe that the closer you are to the creation, the less stressed you're going to be, um, the happier you're going to be. I'm sure everyone's different, but for me, there's nothing like being outside in the sun, in the garden, working hard, and being hungry and tired from your work, but then actually eating like the fruit of your labor. Like, there's just something about that. It's just so satisfying, right? So,
That is. No, it's literally like because the most I ever saw was like a family member growing some tomatoes or maybe a strawberry or two. And, I just never experienced that type of life. And it's almost like if you go out into somewhere where you have a house and you don't see anyone around you, I don't know how I would feel. Like probably just like kaplu, like my mind would probably explode. But over a time, I think I would probably get used to it. Like you said, you just got to go do it and not overthink it.
yeah,
So,
you can do a lot on a little land too. Like, you don't have to like try and be in the middle of nowhere. And especially if you're not used to it, I don't recommend it. Like, we're in the middle of nowhere, like where I'm at, it's just all farmland, but you drive like 45 minutes away and you could be in like, normal with people and stuff.
yeah. Okay, well
So
that's fun. At least you're not like totally alone, but I think it's
yeah, yeah,
definitely a funny contrast from how you grew up to how your kids are going to grow up and I'm very excited to see what fruit they bear when they get older because I'm sure it's going to be absolutely amazing. And especially
I hope
where,
so.
you know, I think having ownership and just like knowing that you own your land is also very important. And then you go and you just worry about your passive income, which right now is like your work, your TA, and all that. So when did you start live streaming in between all this stuff of you getting through your 20s and settling down, having a family, all that?
I guess I was 31, 30, 31. Um, it was right around, it was 2021. Yeah, so I was 31, 30, turning 31. The reason I started doing that actually is because, um, yeah, I wanted to have a YouTube channel. Pretty much the reason I started making YouTube content was funny story is because well, I've been trading since 2018. Um, and I was on the way home one day from somewhere and I was listening to BitBoy's video about market cipher.
Oh my
And
gosh.
yeah, and he said something along the lines of like, just got along the green dot and super easy. And as soon as he said that, I thought to myself, because I used to be in SEO and like online marketing, and I thought to myself, oh wow, he has 700,000 subscribers at the time he had, and that means there's 700,000 people who are going to be using Market Cipher and getting wrecked. Let me make some Market Cipher tutorials and let me affiliate with Market Cipher so I could make some passive income on YouTube. Um, along with my trading. That's why I started making YouTube content. And and so I saw that open door to just to get in onto the YouTube and it really right away
Wow.
I got a lot of traction. And then CryptoFace had me on his channel and then BitBoy had me on his channel and that really pumped my subs. So I look at it as like a total like God thing really with the channel growth. But
Oh, absolutely.
once I realized I had people like watching, then I just transitioned to like instead of just making like market cipher tutorials, I just started doing like TA and trading content in general. Um, you know, so that's how I started to do that. And the reason I started streaming is because I was making videos and I would get like the red light syndrome, right? Where I hit record, I'd say, "Hey guys, and I'd like fumble my words, right? So I'm like, I'm just gonna go
Yeah.
live, and whatever I say is gonna come out, and that's gonna be it. So.
That is so amazing. And your first live stream, I mean, what was that like for you to see everybody in the chat? Because doing videos is one thing,
It's
but
like
seeing
three
everybody
people.
in the chat is like different.
It's funny. I've taken it down, but it's still private. And my I didn't know how to stream, so it was only showing like the upper left corner of my screen, and I
Oh
didn't
my
even know. Yeah, it was like super blurry. It was like 240 resolution, and everyone in the chat was like, "We can't see," and I'm like, "I don't know how to fix it." Um, yeah, super unprofessional. And you know what? I still like to maintain a very unprofessional vibe on the channel and all that.
That's okay.
So
I
I
feel
just I
like
just kind of roll with
people
that.
people want to see people. And that's what like a lot of people were saying to me, "Oh, you should do this. You should do that. You should look like this. You should do that." But like why? Because that's not what everybody in the chat is after. Everyone in the chat, do you want Corpo Jason with the suit on say, "Oh, I'm going to talk about this stock today." Or do you want this man on a freaking treadmill rapping to you? And where did this rapping start, Jason? How did you start rapping on
Oh
stream?
man. Well, when I was in a band, we would on these long drives, we would go around and have these little freestyle ciphers like on the bus, right? And we all sucked and we're just like nerdy white guys. Um, so I forget what happened. I was listening to there was a beat and I just asked people, "Do you want me to drop some bars?" And everyone's like, "Yeah." So I did. And you know, it can work only because nobody would expect me to even attempt to do that. So, it's not like I'm it's not like I'm supposed to be a good rapper and I suck. It's like I'm supposed to not even be able to do it at all and I'm like kind of maybe okay. So it works.
Kind of maybe okay. Guys, on a scale of 1
Yeah.
to 10, what are Jason's rapping skills? Dropping in the chat. 10 being the best, 1 being the
I
worst.
think I think it's like a 2.5 to be honest.
I'm gonna say they're gonna give you a million out of 10, just so you know. And the rapping, I think, adds to your charm, but everything, like everyone always talks about this one thing you do, which is what you're doing right now. You're on a treadmill
Oh,
on
the
the
treadmill.
stream. Where did that
Yeah.
come in, and why did you think that was important to do on the show?
Um, the reason why I came in is because I was getting with all the live streaming, I was getting out of shape.
Oh boy.
Just sitting there. Um, because I didn't realize this whole channel thing is a plot twist when it comes to my plans to be a homesteader, right? I thought I was going to keep doing my job that I was doing, um, which was a family-owned business with me and my brother and my dad. But then this happened and it really like took over like my life. And the next thing you know, I'm sitting for like hours and hours a day, you know?
Yeah, no, it's a
And
lot.
So eventually I got back in shape. Like, I started, you know, when I first started this, honestly, my health kind of took a backseat. I was eating garbage and, stress can like do that to you, right? It wasn't
Yeah.
stressful. It was just you when you
It's
have a
pressure.
focus in life. Yeah, sometimes your focus changes, right? And then I'm like, man, I need to just walk more because I can't keep being so sedentary. And so I did. I started walking more, and then I'm like, man, how awesome would it be if I could walk while I was streaming, you know? And so I decided, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna get a walking desk and just see what happens. Like, if people stop watching, people stop watching, and if they don't, they don't. And you know what? People didn't stop watching, and so now I have a rule. If I'm gonna be at the computer, I'm gonna be walking. You know?
That's really good, honestly, because that's one thing I fell into a few years ago where I was just sitting around all day and I felt horrible. I felt like
Yeah.
I looked horrible. And I was just like, you know what? I need to go to the gym. So I hit up my friend that's in the space and he's a trainer and he gave me a workout thing, like a whole program. And so I've been doing it ever since like November of 2023. And I have no regrets. And I think honestly, it's going to
Yeah.
benefit us now to work out and like for when we're older. I
Yeah.
can't imagine being like 60 and never hitting the gym when you're
No.
younger because then you stay in shape and like you build up a habit. And I
Yeah.
think the oldest like the
Yeah.
people that are elderly and you see them walking around, like that's because they walk every day, probably miles a day.
Yeah. My grandma, she lived to 97. Even in her 90s, she would walk uh to the store and back every day. And my grandpa was still alive. He's 98. Until he had something happen to him where like it affected him mentally. He was gardening, he was walking, he was doing everything just normal up until his 90s, So I totally agree. Like sedentary lifestyle is deadly. And we were made to move. Like we were not made to sit. This is very unnatural. So for me, this is the ultimate hack because doing this and I'm walking slow right now. I'm walking like less than 2.5 miles per hour. It doesn't make you tired. Like it has no negative benefits, but
I think it
it
keeps your
helps your
mind
sleep. It
moving.
helps your mood. Yeah, it helps your mind. It helps your sleep. It helps your mood. Um, it helps your digestion. Like, I don't know if you have to worry about that yet, but wait until your 30s. Um, the it just makes your body feel like it's working better. This is what we were not made to sit in a desk. So
Especially staring at the screen is really bad. And that's why I started picking up glasses. Like I have these blue light glasses
yeah,
because it's
me
just so
too.
bad.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I think we're
yeah,
like destroying our eyes. And,
yeah.
someone told me a story about how like they knew someone that was staring at their screen all day and it got so bad that like his eyes were so damaged he couldn't look at screens for 2 months.
I believe
Imagine
it.
in this day and age not being able to access your screen. You need your phone for almost everything. And I think that's what the trap they put us in is really like if you need a flashlight, it's on your phone. If you need a calculator, it's on your phone. If you need to call someone, you have to look at a screen. Like who has a landline anymore? I personally don't. I haven't seen a landline in a
Yeah,
few
I don't.
years. So,
Yeah.
like, what is the alternative? And I feel like people, even a trend among Gen Z now, ironically, is getting flip phones because people just can't do with the toxicity of social media. And I think the brain
Yeah.
rot is so real. I know we mentioned it before the show, just
Hmm.
scrolling and like 10-second this, 10-second that. Like, it's so bad. Even with your kids,
Yeah.
do you think you're going to give them like iPads and
No.
stuff when they're young?
No. No, I won't. Like even now, like we limit very much so like we don't have like a TV screen in our house,
Oh,
like a big
wow.
like screen like where everyone would like watch something. We just like don't do that. So if we're gonna watch something, we have like a DVD player, like a little portable one, or we'll find something on like YouTube. But we really limit their exposure to that kind of stuff because you know, I know I sound like a weirdo, but here's the thing, like we don't know what that stuff does to growing minds. And it's crazy. I was in the mall one time with my wife, like I forget why we were there, but there was this little girl in a stroller. She's probably like 3. She's like on her iPad, right? And oh, we were there to take a family photo, like JC
Oh,
Penney or
it's
something,
oh my god, I was
right?
gonna say JC Penney is so cute.
Yeah. So this little girl, she's on her iPad. It's time for the family to go and take a picture. They take away the iPad. She becomes completely like inconsolable, like just completely like loses it. And it's like, it's more than she's just spoiled. Like, is what I thought to myself. I'm like, this is like unnatural dopamine for a little kid whose brain is developing. They're not meant to be able to look at this thing and like touch it and interact with it and see all these images and colors and pictures and moving. Like, you will not see that anywhere in the real world. Like,
Dude, it
it
is
can't be
so
good
bad.
for you.
You know, the thing with iPad kids, as they're called, it's just toxic. Like what the parents do, and I'm not like coming after anyone, but like it hurts my
It's
heart
hard to be a
actually.
parent. Like, look,
You
I
know,
don't want to judge. I'm sorry to cut you off. I don't want to judge parents because I know how hard it is, especially if you have multiple kids, to not just give them like a TV and a screen and and say just leave me alone for 5 minutes.
yeah.
So I don't judge anybody, but I'm sorry. You continue.
No, yeah, no, and I totally get what you're saying too. It's a rough balance as a parent because sometimes you need a break, and it's like easy to just place the iPad, go play a game for 5 minutes, leave me alone. But then it's also like, how do you teach them the discipline? And when I was like at restaurants a lot in Brooklyn, I don't really see it a lot down here, to be honest, in Florida, but in Brooklyn, like I used to see a lot of iPad kids where the kid would be in a high chair, iPad in front of them, like the most like ADD type things in their face, like thing after thing. And it's like moving so fast that like I'm getting dizzy just looking at this kid's iPad. And then like the kid isn't even looking, like it's looking at the iPad and the parents are feeding it, or it's just like stuffing its face, not even looking. And I'm like, how do you even do that? Like, and engage with your kid? Like, you need to tell your kid, like, hey, let's pay attention. If they throw a tantrum, take them outside. Like, do the things that parents did back in the day. Because I think if I was giving technology as like a little tot, I'd be fried. I'd be totally cooked. Probably
Yeah,
with
I
a
mean,
lot of
I'm
mental
cooked on it
disorders.
now, you know?
No, it's bad. And even Lifer just joined the chat. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. He said, no iPads for my
Hey,
kids. Enrich them. God bless you both. Yeah, no, Lifer's kids, his
shout out to
wife
Sam.
is so involved. I've hung out with him and his wife. I've gone to their home. Beautiful. And their kids are beautiful. His wife is beautiful. Shout out to BB. And literally, she is so engaged with her kids. If they yell, they scream, she deals with it. And like, that's the way you just gotta say, like, calm down, like, teach them patience. And I feel like that's not really done nowadays. And yeah, I think that was a really good point that we should make. I wish I was thrown outside a lot more when I was younger too, instead of watching TV. But anyways, I know that people definitely want to hear about Bitcoin right now. We can skew into Bitcoin. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Please smash the like and support this channel. I do go live 9:45 a.m. Eastern Monday through Friday to cover crypto news and some TA as well. I'm not as cool as Jayson, but you can hang out with us anyway. Jayson, how do you feel about Bitcoin? We are testing the 200-day SMA, or we were right above it. 200-day
Yeah.
SMA right now is at 107.4. We're at 107.9 right now. Drop the alpha.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome to drop a chart as well.
Yeah, let's pop onto a chart here.
Yeah. Let's get them charts going.
Boom. All right.
Bam. You're good. Thank you.
So what has just happened with Bitcoin, in my opinion, is either going to be an extremely bullish event with this wick on Friday or the beginning of much more downside. Here's basically what I'm looking at. Now, I'll be honest with you. I'm a weird guy in a sense that I'm a very long-term trader. So I trade like the 4-year cycle, but I'm also a very short-term trader. I'm not really an in-the-middle trader. So, everyone who like buys the dips in the bull run, like that's not me. Like that's not me. Like I buy when everything's hopeless. Like I buy after like 50% dump or more, right?
That makes sense.
So yeah, and then I sell on the way up. So, I sold at 80K. Everyone said I was stupid. I sold at 100K. I sold at 120K. Like, so I'm saying all this so that people know where I'm coming from, right? Um, right now, what's very important in my mind is that we reclaim 111,000. And the reason why is because 111,000 is the resistance that we've had basically since Trump won the election. And then it flipped into support, right? And so if we're going to lose this level, what it's going to do is actually going to put us back into, and you can even see this big range right here that goes back to November 2024. We don't really have any major support until we come back down below 100K.
Like 97 is what I've been looking at.
97, yeah, we have the high volume node of all this price action. We have the Fibonacci golden pocket there. We've got the anchored VWAP going all the way back to 2024 August low. So the volume weighted average price is coming in right around 95. So we have this zone of confluence. And so if we can't reclaim 111 quick, we do have some pretty bearish divergences on the monthly, on the weekly, on the 2-day, the 2-day time frame right now. We've just seen the money flow like come down like this as we made that higher high, and the momentum waves really getting lower. And that's really not a good look, especially since we are right now, about to close our second 2-day candle below 111,000. So here's how I'm looking at it. There's the big debate. Is the 4-year cycle dead or is it still going? Obviously we won't know until hindsight, but if the 4-year cycle is dead, which it very well may be, and we're going to continue in an extended bull run into 2026 and beyond, then I think we really need to pay attention, like what you were saying, around 97-ish, because when we look at the 200 moving average, whenever we come down there below, that's the time to scoop it up, right? That is the time to really be getting in. We have a few weeks really to load up for the next big push. And so if we lose the 200 MA right now, we're going to be coming right down to around that area, which in my opinion, if we're going to continue up, this is the place to really be loading up on Bitcoin. Now, I'm not going to be loading up on Bitcoin there because that's not the way I play the market, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if we do bounce from here, my target is going to be around 134,000 to 148, which is our next Fibonacci extension level. And it's amazing how well these levels are respected. I mean, look at where we topped out at, when we got that first big pump to 120. The 1.618 pretty much was our resistance. It's still our resistance. It's been our resistance since July 14th. So I would assume the next major fib level around 135 is going to be our next resistance if we continue up here. But if the 4-year cycle is still intact, then this could be a top. And I'm not trying to bring any emotion into this at all. But historically speaking, around 500 days after the halving, that's the top where we do get more of a pullback. And then we could see price come back down toward $73,000, or in my opinion, I think we're probably going to see at least the mid 60s, potentially even lower. I know that's pretty crazy for a lot of people to hear.
I don't think that's even bad though. Like, am I crazy
I don't
for
think
that?
so either.
Because, I think we've been on like this mega bull run since the election. But even before that, I think the halving is like, the 4-year cycle is actually invalid just because we hit a high before the halving and then we pulled back. We had a really nice pullback after that halving, 20%. and then we went back up. And so I think like after the election, everyone got really cocky with it, and I think that even contributed to the $20 billion wipeout last week because everyone thought like, oh my gosh, Bitcoin's going up forever. But that's when Bitcoin shocks you. I think Bitcoin does the same thing every time. I'm just not sure that the 4-year cycle is even valid at this point.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. If
I think
it
we're
is
on
valid,
uncharted waters for sure.
yeah, if it is valid, this is the 2-month time frame right here, and I'm going to turn off that MA to clean up the chart a little bit. But so historically, every single all-time high gives us a retracement to the Fibonacci zone between the 786 and the 886. So it's happened 4 times right now. So that means out of all the 4-year cycles, there's 100% of them have retraced in between the 786 and the 886. So if the 4-year cycle is intact, if the top is in now, we're looking for Bitcoin to dip below 40K. And that's going to be the bottom. If it's not over, for let's say we pump up to 130 or even 150, we're looking at the low 40s. If this is going to continue. And what's quite interesting about that actually is obviously it's going to be a major opportunity, but yeah, that's going to be like our 69-ish% correction, like we've seen every single time. And I mean, that's just going to be an amazing opportunity to buy on spot.
Dude,
I think
imagine I would freaking die. That would be crazy.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's no different than what happened last time. I mean, $70,000 Bitcoin. If you had told people we're going to 15K, they would have thumbs down your video and said, "There's no way we'll never see that." And I remember in 2018 at 20K, if you had said we're going down to 3K, people say, "No way." But I will say this time is different in many ways. There's no hype. Like in 2018, everybody was saying we're going right to 30K. In 2021, everyone said we're going to 100K. Right now, it's like where's the hype? Where's the euphoria? It's totally not here. And the other thing that's weird about this cycle, like you said, is we hit the all-time high before the halving. And typically the 60% pullback that we get before the halving was only a 20% pullback this time. So, you know, my theory right now, not theory, but the way I'm leaning is that we do get a pullback, like as if the 4-year cycle is intact, but potentially it's not going to be as intense of a pullback as it was previously, because that's a good hybrid of both theories, right? The 4-year cycle is broken, but it's also not broken. Like in January 2024, I was expecting a back test of like the 30s to get our like 50% correction like we had every single time. Instead, we got about a 30% correction there. So we still got the correction, it just wasn't as deep. And this is right after the ETF launched, right? So potentially we don't come down to the 40s, but if we don't come down to the 40s, I would be looking at that $65,000 level, because that is going to be a major back test of this high that we made in 2021. And it would also take the liquidity from the low of March 2025. Actually April, I mean. And I don't know if you can see the chart, but look at how beautiful of a breakout and a back test that would be if we just came back down to this zone and then made another high.
I think if we go back to at least 69K and we hold support there, because even if you look at like the daily chart, let me go back. Hold on, let me look at my chart for a minute, because the level I always kind of go back to was when we broke through essentially 69K, 66 to 69. Then we kind of like went up and stumbled a little bit from like November, literally election night, November 5th, about till the 10th. And then we soared up to basically 90. And then when we went past 100, we pulled back to about that level again, which was the wick low was 74K.
Yeah.
So I think we did go back to that point, but I would also love to see previous all-time highs again, like at 69K. I think if we pulled back
Yeah.
there, or even the highest daily candle close of 2021 was 67.8, just about. So that would be a great level to pull back to. I think it's quite predictable, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. And also it did really seem like there was unfinished business down here, like in April.
100, that's what I'm saying. That exact spot. Yes.
Yeah. It seems like there was unfinished business because we didn't tap the $73,800 high. We front ran it. So yeah, it just makes so much more sense to come down and tap that again. And also, like, most of the time the asset is just trading in the sideways range. So what that would really allow us to do is establish a new range for Bitcoin between 125,000 and, let's just say, 69, for argument's sake, 69,000, and have this range where, now this is the range here,
That would be
instead
sick,
of,
honestly.
and it would be healthy, right? It would be sick and healthy at the same time. Only in
Absolutely,
crypto
yes.
can be sick and healthy at the same time. Yeah.
Well, it's only sick because people are way over leveraged. Like that's really the only reason. And people think they know better than Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin gets the best of them. And so what I've been telling people, especially with the $20 billion wipeout, like maybe DCA a little bit in the background. So at least you have a stack you're not playing with and you're just holding long term. Do you think that's a good strat as you trade? You also have some DCA?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have Bitcoin that I will never sell. So when I say I'm 80% out of Bitcoin, I'm not including my forever hodl account of Bitcoin. So yeah, I think you should always be stacking your Bitcoin. And I think you need to be able to split your mentality between I'm scalping, I'm position trading like these big swings, and I'm going to sell this Bitcoin to make profit. And I'm like in this for the long game. Like I'm stacking Bitcoin forever, and I'm never going to sell this Bitcoin until I'm like old and I need money, or like give it to my kids. Like So I operate in all three of those at the same time. And I
That's
think it's important for everybody to do, because if you don't define your plan and your goals for each and every investment you make, then you're just setting yourself up to lose money.
Well, yeah, and we're not trying to do that either, especially where we have like a major debate in this space about Bitcoin dominance and if that matters. How do you feel about that?
Man, it's been so weird this cycle as well, right? Because Bitcoin dominance is not much higher. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of market cap, not Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance, I mean, if we're gonna historically, it's been very, very important for altcoin pumps, when money starts to flow into altcoins. And to be honest with you, I haven't really traded this. I don't usually use Bitcoin dominance to make decisions, but I would say this channel looks extremely unsustainable. And we've already kind of broken down from it, and we kind of already have gotten a back test from it. And so I, how am I going to say this? When I look at altcoin charts right now, especially like the top 20 kind of coins, the charts to me look extremely bullish. We've seen major bottoms, bullish divergences on very high time frames. I'm talking the monthly, the weekly, the 2 month. And when you combine a very objectively bullish looking chart on these altcoins with this Bitcoin dominance chart here, and this channel to me is the most ugly, disgusting, bearish looking thing I've ever seen. It would be so easy, just to come back and to take all this liquidity and back test 48% or whatever Bitcoin dominance. And let's see, actually, do we have any confluence there? I mean, that's also the Fibonacci golden pocket from the low to the high. So I think we could right now, based on this Bitcoin dominance chart, be setting ourselves up for big altcoin pumps because the charts are looking so bullish. I mean, man, I was just on stream with Alex O, and we were looking at AVAX, and AVAX literally just took out the bear market low at this wick. And AVAX has right now, this is the 2 week time frame. It could potentially print the most bullish divergence in the world ever. The monthly time frame could print a bullish divergence on AVAX right now. And this is at the top of a bull market. What I mean by that is this is historically where everything tops out. And so the fact that we're printing major bottoms that you'd only see in a bear market during a bull market is crazy to me. And even right now, AVAX, assuming we come up to the previous all-time high, is 10 times more upside than downside potential here. So you combine that with the Bitcoin dominance chart, and it seems like things are going to rip at some point. If money starts to flow into these altcoins, the technicals are already screaming, these things are going to pump like crazy. And if they hit new all-time highs, let's say AVAX goes up to 175, right? I mean, we're talking, that's a lot more upside than downside, right? These are great, in my opinion, charts to be interested in right now. So, when I see the Bitcoin dominance chart and when I see the altcoin charts, it makes me bullish on altcoins. And I am pretty invested in a lot of top 20 altcoins, and I've been holding off on selling any of them until all-time highs, and I hope it works out for me. Obviously nothing's guaranteed, but the charts are definitely looking good.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly the pullbacks have been great, and most of them hitting very critical levels that you would want to hold for support. I mean, even Bitcoin pulling back where it's at now. Ideally, you want to hold 106 and move back up, and have a slight rejection of the 200-day SMA, just so we've tested it. And so I think testing the 200-day SMA is probably one of the most healthiest things, even though it's so basic. It really is one of the healthiest things you can do, just so in the back of your mind that maybe the madness would be over. Typically with Bitcoin, when it tests a 200-day SMA, it's usually a little bit of a battle for a month, rejecting it, testing it, passing it, going back down. So I think that's probably our most I think our next month is probably going to be that battle with the 200-day SMA.
Did we tap the 200 SMA on Coinbase?
I think,
we did.
Yeah, just slightly with the wick. Yeah.
Ooh, actually, it looks like we front ran it slightly. That makes me think we hang out here for a little bit more. Yeah,
That's what I'm
like
saying.
you're saying.
Like, there's no
Yeah,
way because even the wick low, like right before that, you can see from last week. Yeah, like that's where the 200-day SMA is sitting now. So that what I
yeah.
was saying on
Mm.
my show this morning is that if the wick is that down that low, that's probably where we're going to test the 200-day SMA and battle it. That's really what I see.
Mm.
Whenever you have extreme wick lows, Bitcoin always most likely retests that.
Yeah, it loves to fill those wicks, honestly. So
Yeah, Bitcoin is
let's see what
like
happens.
there's some key patterns you can find, but again, when you get too cocky, that's when Bitcoin like rips you apart. And with that, because I know you have a lot going on today, Jayson. So I'm gonna try to skew you on out of here in a few minutes. But overall, I mean, what are your vibes? Are you bullish? Are you bearish? Do you believe in this space? Like, are you just here for like quick cash? What are your feelings? Be honest, Jayson. Be honest.
So I can't I don't know like what the rest of the year holds. I'm open to a large correction in 2026. I'm open to more upside, to be honest with you. On the long term, I'm definitely in Bitcoin for the long term. I'm in crypto for the long term. Um, Bitcoin, in my experience, has been something that has absolutely changed my life. Um, and yeah, I think although I do have a pessimistic outlook on crypto in general and where it will eventually take society into like extreme um like authoritarian controls, which I do believe is coming. I think before that happens, there's going to be opportunity for us to make a lot of money and situate ourselves in a way where we won't be as easily controlled once those systems are implemented. So I think Bitcoin could easily see $500,000 by 2029. Um, and higher, and higher too. I don't see why there's any reason why we couldn't less than 10x to a million. I mean, I've seen it go from 600 to 120,000 in a few years. So, you know,
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, when I started Miss Teen Crypto in April 2020, I remember going to school and telling people about what I was doing in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin was 7 grand. And people were telling me that I was absolutely insane. Bitcoin will never hit 20K. It'll never hit
yeah,
$50,000. And look at where we're at now. And so
yeah,
I just think that you got to stay in it long term. You got to breathe. You got to know that Bitcoin isn't a get rich quick. Basically, none of it is. And you just have to like have conviction, do your own research, and most importantly, go ahead and take self custody. I think that's something that a lot of people are learning right now. You have to be self sovereign. And so that's one thing I would encourage people to do today. Crypto Crank is dropping these super chats. Thank you,
shout
Crank.
out to Crypto Crank.
Thank you. Appreciate you, friend. And I just want to say thank you to Jayson for joining us today and everybody that has joined us today. Like I said, I go live 9:45 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday for daily crypto news and some TA. So please make sure you're subscribing, putting those notifications on, and be back tomorrow morning for our final stream of the week. And Jayson, is there anything you want people to know about you? Where can we find you? And what's one message you want to tell the world, whether that's about chickens and eggs and grass and whatever it may be? Let us know what's on your heart.
Oh, wow. You can find me on YouTube, Jayson Casper, and X, Twitter on Jayson Casper. And what's on my heart? I got nothing. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Well, I have a lot of love for you, your wife, and your kids. So shout out to them because they're your anchor and they're going to be your foundation. And I can't wait to see how your kids grow up and everything. And I can't wait to be just like old Auntie Randy down the line and be there for your family. And so I have your back 1000%, Jayson. I have your family's back 1000%. I'm always here for y'all. And I'm here for all of you in the chat as well. Thank you guys so much. I think Donnie T is hitting the stage in the Oval Office supposedly in 5 minutes. So we might see some news coming through. So be aware of that. Thank you guys so much. If you haven't yet, smash the like, subscribe to the channel, share this out with friends. Have a beautiful day. I will see you guys 9:45 a.m. Eastern tomorrow morning. Jayson, thank you. Everyone, thank you. Have a splendid day. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Mwah. Bye.